A thunderous silence descended on the small town in the middle of the deep woods. It all began the day the sky turned the color of gray lead and the wind carried dire predictions. The residents were frightened, but their fear only grew as the storm clouds thickened over the town. The first signs of the thunder silence appeared in the evening, when the usual thunderous noise gave way to a strange silence. People took to the streets to contemplate something unimaginable. The thunder that usually rolled from the heavens at such times seemed to surrender, leaving only an impenetrable silence. Hidden in their homes, the townspeople noticed that even their own footsteps sounded like echoes in the empty space. Voices were lost in the unknown darkness, and screams seemed muffled in this strange sonic vacuum. Everything the men did seemed imbued with mystery, hidden behind the thick blanket of thunder silence. The next inexplicable feature was that not a single living soul could leave the city. When people tried to leave the city, they were confronted with an invisible wall, as if the air itself became an impenetrable barrier. Desperate attempts to overcome this barrier only resulted in the disappearance of those who dared to violate the boundaries of the city. After a few days, the townspeople realized that with each passing moment, the thunder silence was encompassing more and more. The sounds of the city grew quieter and quieter, and the seeming stillness became a nightmare. People began to isolate themselves, closing windows and doors in an attempt to avoid the intrusion of this incomprehensible force. Through the locked windows they watched the city freeze in this silent inferno. The trees in the forest, as if taking part in a strange procession, bowed silently before the unknown. At night, the light of the lanterns barely illuminated the empty streets, and the shadows seemed darker, as if swallowed up by the silence itself. After a week, the townspeople realized that they had become prisoners in their own city. No screams could pierce the wall of silence. They faded inside like sound in a human head. Panic slowly wrapped around everyone, and no sound could penetrate this absolute soundless world. The survivors were the last to witness the disappearance of their city into the darkness of the thunder silence. The vast forest swallowed up all traces of life, leaving only the empty structure of a forgotten world. But somewhere in those dark forests, someone could still hear the echoes of silence that remained after the vanished city.